This is Rummy's Corner. Coming up on May 20th from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, in a championship bout that will be broadcast on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, former unified lightweight champion and former 3-division champion Vasyl "The Matrix" Lomachenko will challenge the undisputed WBC, IBF, WBO, WBA world champion Devin "The Dream" Haney. I, for one, am awfully fired up for this one, and honestly, I view this as a true 50-50 pick'em fight at this point in their respective careers. On one side, you have Lomachenko, the 35-year-old former 3-division champion, who not that long ago was a unified champion at lightweight. And on the other side, you have the 24-year-old undisputed world champion who possesses all 4 major titles and a rightful claim to the lightweight lineage. In a very real way, I think this boils down to the big fight experience of Lomachenko going up against the youth and full potential of Haney. Their respective journeys tell the tale of prize fighters at 2 completely different stages in their respective careers, where they are meeting at a time when one is seemingly entering the downside and a little past his peak and north of his best weight, and another one who's on the rise and perhaps yet to enter his absolute peak, where he may be nearing the end of his time at 135, where he is expected to move up to 140, probably sooner than later. So will this be the tale of a seasoned elite veteran showing he still has a trick too many up his sleeve? Or will it be more of a passing of the torch situation where youth prevails? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the multi-million-dollar question going into this exceptional clash of styles. For Lomachenko, his journey is impossible to fully realize without considering his amateur career, which culminated when he won his 2nd consecutive gold medal at the 2012 Olympics. Arguably the greatest amateur boxer of all time. His accomplishments at that level provided him with opportunities that would not be afforded to most. In his 2nd professional contest, he competed for the vacant WBO featherweight title in a losing effort against Orlando Salido. Despite losing, he got another chance to fight for that very same title in his very next bout, when he won an impressive 12-round majority decision against Gary Russell Jr. That was in June 2014, and it marked Lomachenko as the man with the fewest number of fights needed to win a major world title in just his 3rd professional contest. The Matrix made 3 defenses of that belt before moving up. His first fight at 130 happened in June 2016, when he stopped Roman Martinez to win the WBO junior lightweight belt. Lomachenko successfully defended that belt 4 times, where he beat some pretty good names, Nicholas Walters and Guillermo Rigondeaux being the 2 notable standouts here. So by the time Lomachenko made his lightweight debut in May 2018, he was already a 2-division champion. His lightweight debut against Jorge Linares was a wild and entertaining encounter. Lomachenko was dropped in round 6 of that one, but the Matrix persevered and displayed great championship heart, and he ultimately ended matters in round 10, when Lomachenko landed a sneaky combination that was punctuated by a crippling blow to the body. That stoppage victory earned Lomachenko the WBA Super Duper belt, which marked him as a 3-division world champion. In his next bout, Lomachenko beat Jose Pedraza to add the WBO belt to his collection. Then he defended his unified championship against Anthony Crolla. Then in August 2019, Lomachenko beat Luke Campbell by 12-round unanimous decision to win the vacant WBC belt. At this point in time, Lomachenko was a 3-belt unified champion at 135, and the only other champion at that time was Richard Comey, who lost the IBF lightweight title a few months later against Teofimo Lopez. At the same time, Lomachenko was widely viewed as one of the very best, if not the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world. Haney was the #1 ranked lightweight mandatory contender by the WBC, and he was looking to get a title shot either before an undisputed showdown between Loma and Lopez or after. Instead, the WBC unnecessarily complicated matters when they invented a brand new belt right out of thin air, the so-called franchise belt. Lomachenko was declared the new WBC franchise champion, which at that time was pitched as an honorary title that had no mandatory obligations, and it was described by the WBC as a belt that would supposedly not switch hands inside the ring. So in October 2019, Haney was automatically elevated from interim WBC champion to the real McCoy. So at that point in time, Haney was the legit WBC champion. Lomachenko had some made-up honorary trinket, and as a result, Haney received what was, in my opinion, a lot of unjust criticism because he never won the belt in the ring. It was the same type of thing years and years back when Lennox Lewis was given the WBC belt without needing to fight for it. Or if we look back further, when Ken Norton was named WBC champion without winning it. Fans generally don't like when champions are given a belt without beating someone for it, even if it's vacant. This is where Haney's championship journey began, where the paths of Lomachenko and Haney had nearly crossed, but it just didn't happen at that time. Haney defended his new belt a month later when he defeated Alfredo Santiago by 12-round unanimous decision. Then the following year, in October 2020, Lomachenko went on to face Lopez anyway, even though it lacked the undisputed showdown that could have been. In an impressive upset, Lopez won the fight, which earned him the unified WBA and WBO belts to go along with his IBF. And what the hell? The WBC decided the franchise belt does indeed switch hands inside the ring after all. Since that time, Lomachenko has won 3 fights in a row, including an impressive win against Nakatani, and most recently, he won a 12-round unanimous decision in a hard-fought battle against Jermaine Ortiz. Meanwhile, Haney continued defending his WBC belt, and Lopez lost another upset championship fight when he was defeated by George Kambosos Jr. This paved the way to a showdown between Haney and Kambosos for the true undisputed World Lightweight Championship, where Haney traveled to Australia and thoroughly outclassed the champion en route to a 12-round unanimous decision victory. With that victory, Haney had become the king of the division, the undisputed World Lightweight Champion, with all 4 major belts and a rightful claim as the lineal Lightweight World Champion. This marked Haney as the first undisputed lightweight champion since the great Pernell Whitaker last held that distinction way back in the early 1990s. In his most recent bout, Haney beat Kambosos on his own turf in another lopsided 12-round unanimous decision, where this time the scores were even wider than they were the first time around. And here we are, May 20th, ESPN Plus pay-per-view, the undisputed World Lightweight Championship bout between the Dream and the Matrix. So who will win? It's so tricky to decide. Both of these guys do so many things exceptionally well. They both have exceptional footwork. They both have a stellar understanding of discovering their ideal range. They both have impeccable timing and a nice punch variety, where they both excel at creating and exploiting favorable angles. And they both have an ample bag of tricks, where each man has proven to have great versatility and a tremendous ability to adapt and change with the ebb and flow of a fight. They are also very smart thinking boxers, who know how to analyze and study their opponents in such a way that they can set traps. They also both have shown tremendous heart and determination, and an ability to persevere and overcome when the going gets tough. For Lomachenko, I think there are 2 main keys to victory. 1, he must get off to a fast start. And 2, Lomachenko needs to try and get off first, early and often, and ideally he needs to start firing off with those speedy combinations before Haney has a chance to smother him in close quarters. One area where I believe Lomachenko has a clear advantage is that he is better at stringing together longer combinations, where he is fast and precise with his delivery. But one area where Lomachenko suffers is that he tends to get off to a slow start, and it typically takes him time to find his groove where he is studiously trying to learn his opponent's habits, where he then manipulates them into making mistakes and getting out of position, where Lomachenko can then pounce on those favorable angles. In his most recent loss against Lopez, the fact that Lomachenko got off to an even slower start than usual ultimately cost him the match. After struggling with the speed and youth and strength of his younger opponent, Lomachenko really didn't get going and find his groove until the 8th round. And even then, as well as he boxed during most of that final stretch, he was still being forced to fight outside of his comfort zone. In his most recent win against Ortiz, he got off to a similarly slow start, but the big difference here is he discovered his rhythm and found his groove much earlier on. If Lomachenko is going to win this fight, I truly believe that he is going to need to get off to a fast start, even if it means fighting much of the contest a little outside of his comfort zone. Lomachenko really likes to get a good feel for his opponent before he gets his timing down, but I think he will need to take some earlier calculated chances. He simply cannot give up too many early rounds, and I think it is imperative that he finds a way to get off first and put his punches together in bunches. Instead of waiting too long to download all the data, the Matrix needs to trust his pedigree and instincts. The two keys for Haney, I believe, are likewise twofold. Haney needs to be the one getting off first and preventing Lomachenko from finding an early groove. Haney excels at mixing things up and varying his attacks, and the more he varies his early round offense, I think he has a better chance of forcing the Matrix into one of those dreaded loading icons, where Haney throws out more data than Lomachenko can comfortably digest. Haney is likewise going to want to be the ring general far more often than not, particularly early on, where he needs to dictate the distance, prevent Lomachenko from stringing together good combinations, and he needs to smother Lomachenko's work when he works his way into mid-range, and fight with a free hand on the inside until the referee calls on them to break. Ideally, Haney is going to want to be outside where his youth and length play to his advantage, but when things aren't happening at long range, he needs to use every trick in his bag to neutralize Lomachenko. At the end of the day, I am still torn over this one. I can see the clash of styles working both ways, and I'm not extremely confident here. I think this one will be very close and competitive, even if one guy winds up winning close but decisive without any controversy. But at the end of the day, I'm going with the youth, size, and hunger of the younger man. I think Haney is a tricky enough customer with just enough zip and pop that he will force Lomachenko into a typically slow start. The fact that Lomachenko hasn't been as active in recent years, where he has had some issues with injury, and the fact he is getting older, I think these are things that work against Lomachenko. Haney is a skilled and confident prize fighter with an exceptional ring IQ in his own right. I think he has many of the physical advantages, and I believe he has that special something where he can largely neutralize the biggest strengths of his opponent. What I am actually suggesting here, amazing as it may sound, is I think Haney maybe has that special something in the same mold as guys like the great Bernard Hopkins and the exceptional Andre Ward. I'm not saying Haney is on that level, but potentially I think he could be someday when he earns more experience. And this is exactly the type of big fight that could earn Haney a lot of experience points in what I believe will be a true passing of the torch type of contest, one that ultimately propels Haney higher in the discussion of elite pound-for-pound boxers today. So for my official prediction, without much conviction, I am going with Devin Haney by a close and competitive, but clear 12-round unanimous decision with fairly close cards across the board in the 116 to 112, 115 to 113 ballpark. But then again, what the hell do I know? I've been wrong before, and I'll surely be wrong again, and this may very well be one of those times. It is a well-established fact that I ain't exactly Quasimodo over here, and there is, perhaps, a real chance I'll end up beginning my post-fight recap by once again admitting that I don't know shit about boxing. But at the end of the day, I couldn't care less if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I'm just super duper excited that this fight is happening, and I cannot wait. It should be a damn good fight, and may the best man win on that night. So who do you think will win the upcoming undisputed World Lightweight Championship bout between Devin the Dream Haney and Vasyl the Matrix Lomachenko? Please share your thoughts in the comments section, and enjoy the fight, everyone. I hope it's a true classic. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful night. This is Rummy's Corner.
You know, Quasimodo predicted all this.